I can sense that this is going to be a whopper of a reading. And by that I mean like there's a lot of conflicting energy here, but I don't know. Let's just get into it. Okay. So the signs that we have here are Cancer, Gemini, Scorpio, and Capricorn. That could be your sun, moon, or rising. Maybe you have really any significant placements in those signs. And the feeling I get here is that there's something that's really shifting in the way that you express yourself. And you may want to go back and watch my last couple readings because they were very in line with this theme of like vulnerable communication, learning to express yourself in a way where it's more open hearted. And in order to do that, having to kind of like be with the shadowy parts of yourself that want to conceal, that want to hide, that want to maybe play power games, overpower other people. Like there's something here where communication, because the theme of this reading is Cancer, the third house, and Pluto. And so Pluto in the third house and in Cancer could show up at times as a manipulative energy where words have a lot of power. And that might be I was going to say that might be scary. What I meant to say is that might seem scary because I think that for a lot of you who are here right now, you are recognizing that your words have always carried more weight than you realized. And so there's some shame baked into this because you feel like you're looking back on the way that you've shown up in past relationships and maybe recognizing the ways that you were manipulative or the ways that you did conceal, hide, deceive, and if not consciously, maybe unconsciously, the ways that you did that to protect yourself. The cards that are showing up for you are the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the Everything is Fine card, which is a lot like the Ten of Swords in the stack, the Ace of Cups, and Judgment reversed. And so there could be an earth sign figure that has played a big role in this transformation for you. The Queen of Pentacles is typically a Capricorn card, but this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or just someone who's more like embodying earth energy. I feel like for some of you, this relationship is like on the outs or it's been a source of stress for you. This could be you. This could just be representing your relationship with yourself that's been under stress, maybe as you've been moving through this phase of like deeper self-awareness. With the Everything is Fine card, though, it does, and the Ace of Cups coming up, the sense I'm getting is that for about half of you, this is about a relationship with someone else, and for about half of you, this is about your relationship with yourself. The Everything is Fine here is telling me that you've been spending a lot of time distracting yourself from your pain. And that could look like being on your phone a lot. That could look like getting lost in the abyss of social media, kind of endlessly feeding information into your mind so that you don't have the space to feel what's going on below the surface. But I think that this tactic of distraction and avoidance for you has not been working the way that it used to. The Ace of Cups here is telling me that your emotions are bubbling up and they're sort of demanding to be felt. And that's not in a harsh way. It's almost in more of like a lovely way, like feelings of joy, feelings of maybe excitement, feelings of more adoration for yourself or for other people or both. And I think that when you feel those feelings, it can be triggering because it reminds you of love lost. It reminds you of past betrayal, rejection, hurt, ache. And so you've developed this sort of like connection between positive feelings and I don't want to even call them positive because it's not a binary like that, but with what we might call traditionally like lighter and easier feelings, for you have not felt super light and easy because maybe it's been scary to be happy. It's been scary to be joyful. Being joyful is really vulnerable. I heard someone say, and I wish I remembered who this person was and where I heard this, but they said something about how being happy around someone can be more vulnerable than being sad around them. Because when we experience joy around other people, especially, it feels like we have something that can be taken away from us. It feels like we have something desirable, something that other people may like hate us for. And so there's a sort of protectiveness that we might develop when we experience loving feelings where we try to shut it down. It doesn't feel safe, it feels scary. If we develop feelings for someone else, we might try to shut it down because that feels scary. It feels like it opens us up to loss and to hurt. With judgment coming through in the reverse here, there's this sense that we are still kind of running away from some nugget of awareness that's been like chasing us and nipping at our heels for a while. And I think if you were to give yourself space and maybe some time to like journal about this or talk about this with a trusted friend or, speak into your voice notes app and give yourself like real unfiltered time to express what's coming up, that this would turn around and that you would have some sort of self-recognition that would really pave the path toward deeper self-love, self-acceptance, and forgiveness. And when I say forgiveness, I primarily mean for yourself. Like there's a level of forgiveness that needs to happen here where you can see your past mistakes, you can understand the way that you've shown up in relationships, the ways you've been harmful to yourself and other people, and you cannot let that define you as some type of villain, which it feels like for a lot of you are. Even if it's not all the time, it feels like there is this part of you that feels monstrous almost, that like fears, again, the power that your words contain, and maybe that fears your power in general. And I think there's going to be a time when you're going to look back on this with like a much like lighter perspective. It's not going to feel so heavy. It's going to feel much more lighthearted. And I think that that comes from you being vulnerable with other people about what you're going through. Because when you do take that step forward and express yourself and share, you give other people permission to do the same. And if they accept that invitation and they share, that can be incredibly humanizing to hear that other people relate to us in this material that has felt so private and scary and personal and deep and dark. And when we bring it out into the light, often we realize that like none of us are all that different from one another. We just haven't had the space and the opportunities to connect over this stuff that has felt really difficult. So I do like really encourage you to try to give yourself at least moments where you can access this stuff that feels scary and just kind of dip your toes in the water, because I think there's a lot of healing on the horizon for you. Okay. Take care. Bye.